Charcoal Black 77001. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Just messing with you, but I do have a bit of bad news. Whereas the Slim Silver 77001 didn't need to be opened up, this one needs to be opened up. I don't know about the other Charcoal Blacks, but this particular one does. That kind of goes against the point of these tutorials. I mean, after all, you might be wondering, if we have to open up this console, then, I mean, why use Magic Switch? Why not just use a flip-top lid like a flip-top lid instead, or even install a proper mod chip instead of having to use Swap Magic? Well, my answer to you is, good question. Regardless, Magic Switch is what I have on hand, so I will continue the tutorial with that in mind. Take your Slim PS2 and set it upside down. There's a few things we need to pry up. Don't worry, it's not as gruesome as it was for the fat PS2. We just have these little things. One there. One here. I'll use my power nails to get them off. I do trim them, just not as often as I should. And then, we've got one underneath this sticker here, which says Void all over it because it's the warranty seal, and they somehow designed it so that once you peel it off, the word Void slips through to the surface. Kind of interesting. One of the screws is under there. Then also, on this side, these things. These little rubber pads also have screws underneath them. Alright, now that we've got all those uncovered, I'm gonna need a properly sized screwdriver, one that's not very big. And we're just gonna take all these screws up. Oops, dropped my screwdriver. Alright, got that one. Now over here. There we go. Now before I open this up, let me explain why we're having to open this up. Now, the Slim Silver, for those of you who didn't watch that video, back here we've got this hinge, and right next to that hinge you can see a strange little metal thing. Autofocus isn't working too well. There we go. Now that's kind of in the way. There's a certain tool we wanted to slip in there, and we were able to do that with the Slim Silver, but the design here on this Charcoal Black one is a little bit different, and I could not slip the thing in there for the life of me. So I figured out that, unfortunately, rather than this tool here, which is what you slip in the wire, this must be the PS2 that this tool was for. You're actually given more tools with Magic Switch than you need. It's a very kind of cheap, and unfortunately it comes in this little box only, and they're all very small plastic parts. But, and you don't need to use all of them. There's different ones provided for different kinds of PS2, and for this one, we want this square one. It's got a little opening in it on the bottom there. So, now that we've gotten those screws off, we're just going to take this off. You can see the perforation here, the line in the middle of the PS2. That's where the cover starts, and you can get it off easily enough. Just be gentle. Alright. Set that over there. Turn this back around. If you've ever been curious, that's what the inside of your PS2 looks like. Now, what we're after here, you see you've got the laser right here, and if we move along over here, we see a really big screw. And right next to that screw... Oh, blurry. Right next to that screw... Don't make me use the manual focus camera. Don't make me do it. I'm gonna do it. No more autofocus. It's not working for me. Then again, neither is this. Wait. Coming into focus. There we go. That is what we're after. That little switchy thing there needs to be, it's a sensor that, I guess it gets covered up when you close the lid. And so, we're just going to trick it by covering it with something for ourselves. So just line it up and carefully press it down. Focus more on the rights, pressing it down on the right side first. If you can, I think that would be a good idea. Let's see, that's not quite on there right. You want to make sure you get it on there good so it's nice and secure. Though I don't know why you'd even be doing this in the first place. I mean, if you got Swap Magic already, Magic Switch already, that's one thing. But if you don't have it, you're probably better off buying like a flip-top cover. I'll link to that in the video description, as well as provide a link to a video that shows how to put on and install a flip-top cover. Because that's probably a better option than this, let's be honest. If you have to open up the console anyway, that's probably a better thing. So... Oh. Sorry about that blurriness. I'm turning autofocus back on. There you go. It is now totally smooth on the surface because we've put that thing over it, which was totally smooth on the surface. With that done, we just want to take the lid and carefully line it up and gently lower it, making small adjustments as needed. Okay, once you've got it lined up good and everything, just press down on it to help it kind of snap back on. And then we're gonna flip it upside down again. And we're gonna put all the screws back in. Wrong way. There we go. Alright. Now we're gonna put all these little things back that we took out before. Now remember that these little rubber ones are... there's these two little rubber ones, and then there's these hard plastic ones that have longer protrusions. So you kind of need to keep those separate. And remember that the rubber ones go up on the side that has the warranty sticker in the two corners there. That's where those go. And you use the hard plastic ones everywhere else. Okay, that being done, we're gonna go ahead and flip this right side up and connect it. Of course, we're not done yet, but we might as well go ahead and plug everything in. Attach the memory card and all that. Ah yes, this is a US memory card. It's been a question I've gotten a few times, like people wondered if you can use a, considering you have to go through all this trouble to use a, considering you have to go through all this trouble to make a non-Japanese system work with a Japanese game, you have to wonder if a Japanese game works okay with a memory card that's not from Japan. The answer is, it does. There's no problems at all saving your game to an American memory card, a European memory card, any region really. I think the trick is that they're produced exactly the same in all regions, even though the system itself is made a little differently in different areas of the world. I think the memory card is made exactly the same all across the world. Now then, next part we're gonna need is this little thing. And it is little. You can see it kinda... Oop. You can see at the top there, it's got that thing that kinda sticks out to the right. And this is the way we want it to face, although we're not gonna stick it in face down, or on its side like this. We're gonna stick it in with it straight up and down, but we do want that part that sticks out facing to the right. And we're sticking it back here. This little thing moves to the right. It's usually to the right when the lid closes, it gets held in place there, and in fact, if it's out like this, it kind of stops the disc from spinning properly. So, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, hold the piece with your left hand. Trust me, it makes things easier. Take this back with your right and stick this in there. There we go. If you watch my video of the Slim Silver 77001, I had a much harder time doing that because I was trying to use the piece with my right hand. Now the last thing we need to do, this hole here, right above the power switch. Wow, that makes the focus just not work at all. Gonna have to take this manually again. It doesn't seem to be working even manually. That's odd. Huh. Guess it's just because of the zoom. Strange. Well, regardless, I don't know how well you can see it even with the light, but there's a little switch in there that needs to be held down. It would normally be held down when you close the lid, so for that we're going to use this piece. But we're not going to put it in that way. This part that sticks up is what goes in the hole, but we're going to put it in this way. Press it down and then kind of rotate it a bit to the right, because it kind of pops out on its own otherwise. It's still really... it can be troublesome to get this to work right. That might be good enough. I'm not sure if that's really parsing it down far enough. Now with that in, it should be secure enough that it doesn't pop right up when we open and close this or anything. Indeed, that seems to be working okay. This is held in place. We've got that sensor inside the system covered. This one might be covered. I honestly am not sure if it's actually pressed down enough. But let's take a look. We'll try it. Also, there we go. Alright. Oh! It is working. As you can see, the disc is spinning even though the tray is open, which means we did it right. Over here, you can see that it's loading the thing up. Black screen. Wait for it. Here comes Swap Magic 3 Plus. So we go back to this, and the disc stops spinning all on its own, so you just go ahead and take it out. Take your Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix Plus disc, English patched as described in the last video, although you can also do this with the official disc and just not have it in English if you don't mind that. And we go back to this screen, just confirm twice. Disc starts spinning, and it's loading up. Taking its sweet time, but it's loading.